Hey everyone, it's Adam Ratliff here with Adam So Fun, and welcome to the December Stitch Along. You get a little bit different view today because I'm not on the long arm. I'm over at my domestic machine, and today I'm working on my Bernina 590 because it has the dual feed, and when I'm working with blocks that are going to have a bias edge like flying geese or even the quarter square triangles, I like to have a walking foot. And so this one has the dual feed, and actually when I make those quarter square triangle blocks, I switch the dual feed out and put my walking foot on just to get a little more traction. So we've cut all our blocks, we had all our pieces cut. I've already started kind of putting some of these pieces together, so we're not doing everything together. I just want to make this a really quick video. Remember, I'm using the Creative Grid's Ultimate Flying Geese tool. I'll link to their webpage, but go to your local quilt shop. Most quilt shops will carry this ruler, and like I said, this is one of my favorite, or is my favorite way to make flying geese. I think it makes it go super fast. This method, their cutting method and everything, gives you enough to make 4 at once. Again, we only need 12 blocks total, and I want my blocks to be unique. So I'm cutting enough to make 48 blocks, but I'm only making 12 for this quilt. I'll make all the rest and throw them together with the extra pieces of panel pieces that I have and make something else, but who knows? I'm just going to kind of grab and go with that, and we'll see that on social media. But let's get started. So I have my 5 3/4 inch block, and the first step is I want to cut that crosswise, diagonally into 4 triangles. And I'm using their first, they have 2 methods to use this ruler. I'm using the first method. So I'm just going to cut these straight across. I have my Quilter Select. This is my 6x12. Again, this has that non-stick on it. And I'm just going to cut from diagonal to diagonal. I have my nice rotating mat. I don't have a ton of room here, but I have my rotating mat. Cut my diagonals. And now, because these are still stacked in my color groups, I've cut all 3 at once. So now I have my 3 triangle pieces that I'm going to use, and these pieces are going to get put on the side to be taken care of later whenever I make that next project. Now I have my whites. These are the 3 1/4 inch squares, and with these we just want to cut 1 diagonal line. So these are what we're calling our geese units, and these are going to be our sky units. So I'm just lining up those corners. You do make these a little bit bigger, so that it's going to trim down. So if your cut isn't exactly perfect, don't worry about it. It's get almost perfect is good. Exactly perfect's probably better, but it doesn't have to be perfect because, again, we're going to take care of those later. And then I match these triangles up into their pairs. So I have my rustic triangles, my opposing lines, and my movement dots. And then I have my 3 yellow fabric, or my 3 citrine fabrics. Keep note that we only have 2 fabrics from the teal group, or from the aqua group, and we need 3. So you're going to have to double up on one. I decided I wanted to double up on the opposing lines. And then this is where I kind of I probably spend more time than I should, because I don't want all of the designs, opposing lines. I don't want all of the blocks to be opposing lines. I do want one of them to be opposing lines. So that's how this one's going to go. And I just kind of lay my pieces out and lay the sky units on top to match them up. And maybe we'll switch that and that. So now these are all ready to be sewn. So that's the one thing you're going to have to keep an eye on, where you are, where you're, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, keep an eye what fabric you used on one side so you can use the same on the other. Unless you just want to go 100% totally random, and that's that's your decision. It's your quilt. Then you can just grab any of them. So, you know, I'm going to move the camera and bring it up over my shoulder so you can kind of see how I'm doing the next few steps. The last step, we'll actually use this to trim up. I do have my mini Oliso iron. It's one of my favorite things in my sewing room, and a wool pressing cloth, another favorite thing in my sewing room. So so I can press everything right here and get it all working. But let me bring you around, and I'll kind of run through the steps pretty quick. Okay, see you in a second. All right, so we have our triangle sections ready, and I'm just going to grab my first one. I usually just stack the extra triangles in the back, and how these are going to go, we want it to look like this. So we're going to sew our first side on, and what I like about this ruler, it makes it super easy. I can just line these edges up, and now I'm just going to sew my 1/4 inch. So we'll do, let's do 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. I guess we just need to do 1, but at least you get to see how these are going to go together. So once I have those, we're going to move these aside so they're just out of the way. So I have my, I think I just put up one of my pairs. Whatever, we're going to do 2 because I just threw one in the thing. So now I'm going to sew my 1/4 inch. I have my 1/4 inch foot on from Bernina. And try not to let that fabric shift at the end. If it does, again, we're going to make them oversized and trim them down, so it's not going to hurt us that bad at the end. And then we'll take these out. And we can press them. So one of the things to keep in mind when we're pressing these is that this is a bias edge. We want to be careful. We don't want to distort this edge. So I'm going to grab my iron and hopefully I don't burn my hand. Steam it a little bit. And when I press these, instead of, I don't iron them, I press them. So I will open these up, especially because of that bias edge, and just kind of fold this back a little bit and do a little tiny finger press just to make sure I'm getting a nice press there, and then I come back with the iron. Hit it with the steam, just let it set for a second, and I have a nice press there. We'll do it one more time. There we are. Press it back. This ironing pad is hot now because I'm steaming on it. And so now I have my first 2 units. I have some done over here. So the same thing, I did the same exact thing. Hey, don't press on your cutting mat. I have a bunch of batting here, and I have like a silicone application pressing sheet. Don't press on your cutting mats because it'll distort it. It's just, this is how I could get everything to fit in the camera, so I have to do it. But I do have a big wad of batting, so that heat's not getting through. All right, so here's that pressed unit. I'm going to take my same background sky design, and I'm just doing the other side. I will line these up and sew that 1/4 inch. Now, I'm not a pinner. Usually I can just kind of hold things and eyeball them, and they come out pretty good. If my partner Ben were doing this, he is a pinner and he would be pinning all of these, probably. But he is one of the best piecers I know. I'm a fast piecer. Alright, so now we have this side. We can come in and press these. And I always hit it with a little bit of steam to set those seams. And same thing, I'm going to come in with my finger, fold that back, give myself a little steam. There's one. Ooh, hot. And there's two. And now we've just made 2 geese units that quick. So let me slide this and move that really quick, because I have some other ones that are made and not hot on my fingers. All right, so these ones I've already made. And you can see, I mean, they go super quick. So now I'm using the Ultimate Flying Geese tool, the Creative Grids Ultimate Flying Geese tool, and I'm going to trim these up. So step 1, we're going to, and it says trim 1 at the top. We're going to find the lines we need. And we are making, they're going to finish size 2x4, so I need lines D. So I'm going to line up the Flying Geese part, and it has the point to my part D. So I can line up the diagonal lines from the geese. The point gets right on the edge, and then there's my 1/4 inch, and I can trim. I'm trying to stay out of the camera sight, but I want to make sure it's nice and good. And then you flip it. And then I'm going to flip the ruler because we need to trim part 2, and we're still using D, so it has the area for the geese again, and it also has the outside square here for D. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. And this should line up, and it should also line up with that geese in the middle. Everything looks good, and I am going to trim. Now when I'm doing this, I usually do step 1. All 12 of them I will sew on the left side. Go and I'll press everything, then all 12. So on the right side, press everything, and then all 12 I trim number 1, and then I flip them all and trim number 2. So it's just getting them all done in order at the same time. I'm going to trim one more, and then we're going to call it a day on the flying geese. So I'm going back to number 1. I'm going to line up D. I'll move it over here so you can see it pretty good. Trim. Flip. Flip the ruler. Line up D. Trim and trim. And that is how you make flying geese with the Ultimate Geese tool. And remember, we're ending our geese at 2x4 if you do it in any other method. All right, everyone, thank you for joining me in this quick video on how to make flying geese with the Flying Geese tool. I'm going to finish the rest of these up. I might make those extra ones too, just so I can have them ready. And I just wanted to share my little thread bin. I mean, I think it's a little bit fitting for a day at the zoo, right? I think this was a Alexander Henry fabric that I can never find again. But if I could, I would love to buy some more. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. And follow me on social media, AdamSoFun, and that's S-E-W. So you can kind of follow along and see some of the behind the scenes things that don't make it to the YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can download the pattern online on my AdamSoFun.com. Go to the blog section. I will link it below too, and I'll link the ruler and some of the things I like, the Creative Grids ruler, or the not Creative Grids, the Oliso iron. Some of those things I like, I'll link down below. And always check with your local quilt shop if you can get it there. We got to support local, everyone. We got to keep them shops open with everything going on. Hope to see you all soon, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.